in a world divided by data and conflict. Welcome to Pixels to Politics, Season 3.
Welcome, everybody, to an episode of Pixel Politics. I'm your host, Dougie. This episode 103. I think it's 103 of a season. It might be 104. Could be wrong. I have to go back and change this. But, hello, and welcome to the show. Hope you had a great week. It is Friday night as I film this. It's going to be a world news episode, mostly focused on the Nepal floods start, and then we'll be talking about the American beef controversy, which got really interesting right before I started the episode. So I'm looking forward to talking about the beef. Not so much looking forward to talking about this part, but and then we've got some other random stuff I've drudged up from the depths of the news agencies across the world. But welcome. Glad you guys are here. So, this is somewhat old-ish news. I think this happened on Monday, or actually, maybe it was just 2 days ago. But there was very severe flash flooding in a town in Nepal. A town, I don't know what it's called, a village on the Nepalese and Chinese border. And there's just a lot of footage of it, and to be honest with you, it's some of the craziest footage I've ever seen. It's like straight out of the 2012 disaster movie. So if you're faint of heart, I don't recommend you watch. So blood or anything, but there are people who get swept away. I mean, it is some of the crazy flash flooding. I saw Fox News report that it was from a glacier. I don't know how a glacier just rapidly melts fast enough to cause this much flash flooding, but again, just crazy stuff. So, I mean, you can see all of these people here trying to get the hell out. And, man. Yeah, this wave just kind of... Oh my god, guys. Holy shit. Excuse my French. Dude, so this is like a mudslide mixed with the flooding. And I mean, it just dude, it is like a tsunami of water and dirt just destroying everything that was there. Everything that was there. There's just nothing left. Straight up off the rooftop. Oh my god, this is insane footage. If you're only listening, I mean, again, the best way to put it is just like the 2012 disaster movie. Like, I'm serious. It is just straight up footage from that movie. I mean, these people are like ants compared to the water. It's crazy. The footage is I'm not sure we've ever seen anything like it before. At least I haven't. Try to make this bigger here. Yeah. I mean, even this, you can see the water is up to the roof of this parking garage. I think it's parking garage. Oh my god. Holy matrimony. Even here, it's... dude, it just wipes away, like, I don't know, an entire parking garage. Like, it just... any civilian structure in sight just gets gone. Oh, so this is saying that it's 8 to 16 dead, with hundreds of travelers listed as missing. But as far as I know, it's more than that at this point. This was a total taken 2 days ago. And so I don't know. The numbers are probably much higher. But even this is a satellite photograph comparison of before and after. And again, there's like a massive building structure, and then it's just gone. It's just wiped away. Nothing left. At least Okay, so this person is reporting at least 359 people are dead and nearly 1,000 are missing. So it was a glacial flood, completely scouring the valley floor. Rasuwagadi. Yeah, guys. Wow. Again, massive structures just fucking gone. Evaporated. There's nothing left. Yeah. Completely horrendous. Yeah, I hate when they add music to these things. But you can kind of see. So I guess a lot of the structures were based in this valley, and the flooding happened, of course, at the top. The glacier melted at the top, and it just collected a ton of dirt and water. I'd hate to question why these people built these places in the middle of the valley. I mean, dude, the footage is just, I've never seen anything like this before. A little graphic of it. Okay, so they did have some barriers and dams, and it just wiped it out. A massive ice and rock avalanche from a glacier triggered a chain reaction near the Nepal-China border. The avalanche and debris blocked the river, forming a temporary barrier lake. When the blockage gave way, a powerful surge of water, mud, and debris rushed downstream, causing devastating flash floods across Girong in Tibet and Nepal's Rasuwa district. Yeah. Man. Hopefully they find whoever's alive quickly. I mean, these people are completely stranded. Holy shit, man. I mean, dude. If you haven't seen the footage, it's crazy. I mean, brother. Yeah, there's people trapped on the roofs of the buildings. On these, like, tiny little favela apartment complexes. Okay, the music again. Why do you need to put music behind such a already intense event? Are we gonna watch these people get wiped away on screen? Holy shit. I mean, it's gotta be like a 3-story high building, and the water is as high as the roof. Holy shit, weren't there people there? Man. Whew. Wild stuff. Okay, yeah, just go ahead and put that fucking music while we're watching a boulder get pushed through a river. Makes sense. An entire bridge giving away. Yeah, I mean, I could probably do this the entire time. There's just a shit ton of footage of this. Yeah. 19 bridges and 40 kilometers of roads swept away, 13 hydroelectric projects in the region damaged, more than 200 trucks. Probably more. The number of victims is not yet available. India and China have offered assistance. The government of Nepal has called on a Twitter account. Like, I don't. Let us help one another. This is from Nepal Police HQ.
प्रहरी सशस्त्र प्रहरी नेपाली
I don't know. Closed captions in English? No. Yep. Anyways, I don't know. I want to just sit here and just scroll fucking footage of people getting nuked. Nepal emits less than 0.1% of global CO2 emissions. Okay, yeah. What a great time to start talking about global warming. At least 333 people were killed and 1,400 are missing. To be honest with you, I'm surprised the numbers that low after what we just watched. Nepal's glaciers have lost 1/3 of their ice in 30 years as global Temperatures rise. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Don't build don't build your city in a valley, downwind of a glacier. Like, I'm sorry, but like, whoa. How did they not have preemptive? Dude, this is crazy. Preemptive warning of this. No satellites?
Oh my god. Oh boy. Lama.
Holy shit. Bro, you gotta be so brave to sit here and film this shit happening. Yeah, there you go. That's an appropriate reaction. Just run, dude. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Dude, alright. And we're gonna move on. Again, just fucking wild footage, guys. Just wild footage. Western NGOs didn't just block Nepal's dams, they built the political class that still can't protect the country. Yeah, whatever. Blame us every time. It's our fault for global warming. It's our fault for not letting you build dams or something. Sure, buddy. I'm sure America just really was intent on making sure some tiny little Nepal village in between Russia or China and India didn't build the dam. Okay. Also, no dam was going to stop that from happening. Just FYI. No dam was stopping that. It's a good try, though. Love that. Anyways, all right, moving on to the bigger story. Or bigger story here in America. Sorry. To discount people, dying. It's awful. But this one was happening a little more recent. So, it started out with a beef shortage due to I don't know, bad weather or a couple of just a bad season, low cattle herds across the farms of America. And we had an announcement from Trump that they were going to start letting in beef from somewhere else. At the same time, there was a story trending about how they were going to start killing wild horses. And so people were kind of saying, did you know that you can sell horse meat as long as it leaves the U.S. and then it's packaged by someone else and it comes back to the U.S.? Which I don't know. I didn't fact check it. I just assumed it was true. Might not be true. I don't know. But it was a weird coincidence that we announced food from another country. We weren't saying which country it was. There was also this, talk about killing wild horses. I don't know why they're killing wild horses. Something to do with property, people buying a property or some shit. I don't know. And so, of course, people were like, okay, it's probably horse meat. Even if it wasn't horse meat, the other two conspiracies, or conspiracies in quotations, was that it was coming from Argentina, and Argentina uses a chemical in their beef that is pretty much just banned in most places because I think it causes cancer. Pretty sure it just causes cancer. And so people were getting really worried that we were going to start bringing in this Argentinian beef that, is toxic. The third one, what was the third one? Shit. Yeah, I just forgot it. I forget the third one. Horses. Oh, the third one was that it was coming from Brazil, and it was coming from Brazil because one of Trump's mega donors is Brazilian, owns a meat packaging facility in Brazil or some shit. So those were the three big okay, so it's got to be one of these three sources. Lots of people were pissed because obviously the cheaper beef coming from these third world shitholes was going to pretty much lead to us getting poisoned one way or another, or it just being horse meat, which is obviously a problem. Not only that, but it was undercutting the farmers of America, which, of course, something Trump had kind of run on and promoting. And so I've been keeping track of this all week. You guys might not think I notice all of the news. Trust me, I notice all of the news. I watched all of it. Don't worry. I've got my notes on the side that I keep track. And so the whole time I'm watching this take place, I'm just sitting here thinking, yeah, too bad no one recognizes that the real problem is that there's a monopoly on our farms. There's a monopoly that controls our farms. It controls our, beef slaughter and our beef packaging, meat packaging. And that's what I was just thinking before I went and started putting the report together today, like just a few hours ago. And the first thing I pull up is this announcement from Trump, another one, where he says, ranchers and farmers have always been a number one priority for me, which is, again, why people were quite upset that he was importing a bunch of meat from somewhere else. They work very hard, are smart, efficient. He did not write this, by the way, and immaculately clean. But for years, I have heard that they have had a tremendous problem with big processors, who many say are a nasty monopoly. Dude, I'm not going to lie. When I was reading this, I couldn't believe I was seeing it. Like, I was literally sitting there in bed thinking it. Like, yeah, the biggest problem here really is just the monopoly that these processors have. And, you know, that was just repeating in my brain. And then I read this. There are essentially 4 of them, a very non-competitive number, and they make life miserable for our wonderful farmers and ranchers. And I can't let that happen, can I? So in order to break this powerful monopoly, with much of its ownership based outside the U.S., I am authorizing legal documents to be drawn in order to allow farmers and ranchers to be given the right to process their own food. This should move quickly. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe. Sometimes I really like this guy. Sometimes I don't like this guy. This might be one of my more favorite of his policies, or that he eventually, hopefully, signs into place quickly. All I want is for these mega monopolies to get broken up. Look, I'm very pro-capitalist. I'm very pro-free market. However, we don't have either of those things right now. We live in corporatism, where it's just maybe 4. I mean, 4 is the larger number that I've seen in these old industries. Education has only 2. And really, it's just 1. Eyewear, eyeglasses, only 1. Although that's like somewhat changed recently in the past 10 years. Big Pharma, I think it's also just 4 or 5. The seeds that farmers use to plant is just 1. I mean, there are far more bigger monopolies in this country. Oil, again, I can go on and on. There are far more worse monopolies in this country than just the meat processing, but the meat processing is known to be typically pretty bad. And I think the number has just reduced, like, recently. Like, it went from 5 to 4 or some shit. I didn't even know some of them were housed outside the US. That's crazy. And so, anyways, in a proper free market, you make sure that these monopolies get busted up. You make sure that the small handful of companies that might be, have control over an industry aren't basically controlling the competition, which Google is mostly known for. And you break them up. You pass a lot of laws that stop them from being able to hurt the growth. And this looks like we could have a law here that does that. God bless. I fucking hope that this is true. I couldn't believe my eyes. I genuinely hope it's real. 30,000 pounds of beef recently imported from Argentina for reduced prices by Trump has been recalled. Yep. No word as to why they were recalled. Okay, so this is... Hold on, I might have just said misinformation. Again, it's always tough with Trump because you have people who love to take advantage of the madness. And so I see some people saying this is actually old, that the meat was getting recalled, but it's not from the recently imported. Either way, kind of doesn't matter if it's coming from Argentina, it's coming from Argentina. So there's just a beef shortage is really... Oh no, one of the posts got taken down. There's just a beef shortage. And again, a lot of the shortages are very intentional. They want you to start buying up their artificial meat. Thank you, Bill Gates. Oy vey. This is Michigan State Senator Jeremy Ross, a Democrat running for the U.S. Congress this November. And he was caught on a hidden mic saying a certain something.
Honestly, I would say that the entire purpose of my campaign is to make sure America continues to support Israel.
Yeah, it's the background is annoying, but he says that the entire purpose of his campaign is to make sure that the U.S. continues supporting Israel. Surprise. Big surprise. I hope that costs him some votes. All right, we also have some news on oil. This is all within today, by the way. It's all here on Friday, late night. But, well, this was at 8, so, that's at night. The United States of America has just entered into an agreement with the country of Venezuela on the biggest oil deal in world history. At my direction, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth will working closely with highly respected interim president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, and through a partnership with private business, have secured majority U.S. control of more than 65 billion barrels of proven oil reserves in Venezuela at no cost to the American taxpayer. This historic transaction more than doubles Americans' oil reserves, greatly increases our oil supply, and will substantially lower gas prices for all Americans long into the future. While helping to continue to set Venezuela on a course toward tremendous success and great prosperity, this transaction will greatly strengthen the already growing relationship between Venezuela and the United States. Thank you for your attention to this groundbreaking matter. Make America Great Again, President Donald J. Trump. So, I think it's crazy. We're just fucking occupying Venezuela and taking their shit, took their gold, taking their oil. But if we get those gas prices down.
It is my honor to sign an executive order directing federal agencies to accelerate agricultural innovations that give farmers and ranchers the necessary resources to ensure American crops are the healthiest and the most abundant and the most affordable. And we're always working for the farmer. We want to make it better and easier for you, a lot easier for you. We're pleased to be joined tonight by Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins and
Yeah, I mean that's from a different announcement. I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's from this announcement, but I want to see more. It's funny that this Republican, in quotes, because he's really a rhino. It's funny that this Republican politician is the one to break up a monopoly like this in fucking forever. You would think it'd be a Democrat, and it's not. It's this guy. It's ridiculous. If there's one thing I expect from my Democrats, it's to break up monopolies, and they just don't. Matter of fact, they kind of create them. It's ridiculous. So, to put that oil deal in perspective, the oil deal with Venezuela is absolutely insane. President Trump just announced the U.S. has reached a deal to secure majority control of over 65 billion barrels of Venezuelan oil reserves. Furthermore, the U.S. currently has 46 billion barrels of proven crude oil reserves. Combined with the 65 billion barrels covered by this agreement, the U.S. would have a domestic reserve plus control over. Yeah, well, it's what happens when you invade a country and occupy it. You get all the resources. To put this into perspective, the entire world has roughly 1.57 trillion barrels of proven crude oil reserves. In other words, the U.S. is set to control 7% of all proven oil reserves in the world under this new agreement. At 111 billion barrels, the U.S. would be almost exactly in line with the UAE, which has 113, and it would exceed Kuwait's 102. Assuming the agreement is structured as outlined in President Trump's announcements, the implications for global energy markets will be enormous. I don't think it has anything to do with global energy markets. I think it has more to do with the U.S. energy markets, but sure, bro, whatever. More announcements.
NASA has already begun to work on the first ever nuclear-powered interplanetary spacecraft, which will launch in 2028 on a mission to Mars.
There were 3 announcements today having to do with nuclear energy, one of which was an announcement to start building nuclear-powered cargo ships. The other one is nuclear-powered, this is what he's talking about right now, spacecraft.
Planetary spacecraft, which will launch in 2028 on a mission to Mars. It's something so incredible. They have to go nuclear because they have essentially unlimited fuel. You don't have to fill up the tanks every so many miles, right? It's incredible. This ship will be among the first of what will ultimately be a massive American star fleet, making space travel almost as common as ocean travel today.
Dude, I get excited. I get a boner when I hear that shit. I love it. Please let us make interplanetary travel mainstream. So we have an update on Suda.
Para concluir,
Gonna keep covering that. Like I said, I'd hate to just pass up on a story and just kind of like keep moving with the zeitgeist. I'm not a fan. And to be honest with you, there's still a lot happening in Suda that is just completely going under the radar for both America and Europe. But things have not gotten better. They have only gotten worse as they have started moving some of the immigrants sitting on the beaches. Sorry for the noise. Onto the closer to the inner cities. And so the civilians of Suda are running around and fighting with the immigrants. Chaos ensued. This was just yesterday. Spanish patriots with clubs attacked North African Muslim invaders, raising illegal camps on Suda's beach. These brave patriots cannot be blamed, considering that a month has passed since the invasion began and no one has done anything. So, if you are unfamiliar, there was a massive wave of Moroccan migrants towards a tiny enclave known as Ceuta, Spanish enclave. And it was probably organized, it's like 99% probably from one country or another, by telling all these people that they can get asylum if they just make it to the enclave. And so they went to the enclave in a number of, I think it was like 40,000. And shortly after it happened, within like 48 hours, the Spanish president, Petro, I can't remember his name, came out and said that they had removed all of the migrants, the invaders, which of course makes zero sense and was literally impossible. And anyone with more than 80 IQ probably could have figured out he was lying. But that's okay, because they only needed time to try and bury the story. And then people just moved on. However, the Spanish people of Ceuta have not moved on. You can see the chaos and madness. You see some civilians in protest waving the Spanish flag. While they chase the migrants, I guess, further up the beach. Not really sure they have anywhere else to go. Yep, and this is what happens when your government refuses to protect you. You must protect yourselves. And the civilians are now running across the beach, tearing down the tents, makeshift shelters. Yep. The Spanish police have opened fire on crowds in Ceuta tonight. This is 2 days ago. They are shooting rubber bullets. They are shooting at Spaniards protesting against the illegal migration. They didn't fire rubber bullets at the 70,000 illegal migrants when they stormed Ceuta in July. Incredible. The bravery of one's own government against their own people is always so impressive to me. And yet they just completely ignore everyone else. Here's a politician, probably Spanish. Or, yeah, I don't know. I don't read this. She has the politician marker. Maybe she's just a spokesperson. I don't know. She's somebody in the government, and she says Nazis from all over Spain are heading to Ceuta, which is ridiculous considering Ceuta is an enclave separate from the mainland. So I would be surprised on how all of these, quote, Nazis from the mainland are just heading over to Ceuta, armed with sticks to go out and hunt migrants, and the police are letting them do it, with the order to beat migrants and grant impunity to racists. Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. The government is sending a dangerous message. Migrants are not people. Being a Nazi is fine. If I could just airdrop her just right into the middle of one of these camps, I would. These dang Nazis not letting 80,000 migrants overrun their small little city of just 40,000. These Nazis. How dare they? How dare they, these dirty Nazis. these brown Nazis. Oh yes, Nazis known for being Spanish and brown. Everybody knows Nazis are Spaniards. Of course, when you think Nazi, you just think of a Spaniard, right, guys? Don't you? Like, what? What the hell? Come on, man. Is this real? Are you a real life person? She has the blue check mark of the great check marker for being like a government official or spokesperson. These damn brown Nazis running around hating other brown people. Oh my god. You've got to be kidding me. What the fuck? Everyone is a Nazi and evil in Suda except for the depraved sexual aggressors who have raped girls and women there. Yeah, there's been a ridiculous amount of that going on. Oh man, this is also 2 days ago. Progressive NGOs are out on the streets of Suda tonight handing out pepper spray to illegal migrants so they can use the pepper spray against local Spaniards in tonight's clashes. I'm gonna try really hard not to be fucking sexist here because you already know who's handing out the pepper spray. Completely absurd. They want you dead. They have no problem trying to ensure your death. If you fight back, you're a Nazi or you're racist. Even if they're the exact same color as you, somehow. Ridiculous. Just walking around handing out pepper spray. This is just 7 hours ago. Residents of Suda, a Spanish enclave in North Africa, destroyed a migrant beach camp, tearing down tents and burning belongings amid rising tensions. Since 72,000 people crossed from Morocco, the majority of whom have returned. Yeah, we did just kind of see this, but again, why are they there? Honest to God, why are they there? Groups of local men joined by hooligans. How do you determine who's the hooligans and who's just the local men? Who traveled from mainland Spain, including members of Sancinados, Sixtinos, Firm, and Stuka Sur. I don't know. Like, how do you even know that that's happening? Reportedly moved against African migrants living in makeshift settlements along the city beach. Like, it's crazy how much more detailed they get when people are moving to defend the homeland. But God forbid they get invaded by 80,000 people, double the population, and then they just kind of forget the numbers. Oh yeah, all of them just left. They just left. We got them all within 24 hours. Pseudo locals are now tracking down and blocking vehicles belonging to the Red Cross NGO in order to halt their operation across the enclave. This is unprecedented. They are warning the Red Cross to leave immediately. Yeah, no shit. They're no longer here to help you. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish, but I understand the word mafia. Honestly, this is the best reaction I've seen in a long time for an invasion. So, good job. Good job, Spaniards. Well done. Jesus. This is 8 days ago. The Islamic invaders have not been moved from beach to an industrial zone, still within Suda. Sorry, they have been moved. We do not understand why they're not driven away and sent back to Africa. Soon they will be right on your doorstep in Europe. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. There was a little speech I wanted to talk about. But let me see if I can find it again, guys. Oh my god. This was... Yeah, that was the night of the invasion. This was just 5 hours ago. Fresh confrontations have broken out in Suda during protests against illegal migration. Footage is circulating of migrants throwing bottles and other objects toward demonstrators. It's called an invasion. What the hell is that? It's like some kind of bubbling black substance. I don't know what that is. It looks dangerous. There was a little... Here, this is what I wanted to show. It's not in English, but maybe this person translates. Muslim responding to rapes in Suda. If parents leave a 15 or 16-year-old girl alone, it's normal for her to be raped. The fault lies with the parents. Interesting. The despicable words of a Maghrebi invader about the rapes in Suda. So again, normally I think they said Suda's like rape numbers are less than like 20 a year, and they're getting those numbers now within just like days or weeks.
Para concluir, hemos visto.
Nadie quiere vivir ahí.
Omar,
Todo el mundo sabe la situación de su país.
Última pregunta. Omar, para concluir.
It's not in English, so.
Hoy hemos conocido.
Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can. Nope. Nope. Well, I just have to take the word of the captions for it. So, yeah, anyways, my point on that is. Sorry, I was reading something from Benjamin Netanyahu. I couldn't help myself. So we'll keep an eye on that. Apparently, obviously, tensions keep growing there. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. I already saw this. They would like for us to not know that it's continuing, but it is. And those people will eventually make it to the mainland. They'll get shipped there. Anyways, this is EU's President Ursula von der Leyen talking about the trade deficit with China.
Notre déficit commercial avec la Chine atteint désormais.
Great, it's in some other language. Our exports to China Our exports have to. Oh my gosh, I can't English today, guys. Our exports to China have decreased. Our trade deficit with China is now reaching almost 1 billion euros per day. Oh, wait, Europe now cares about trade deficits? But they nonstop flamed America for complaining about our own trade deficit with them? Interesting. It has increased by another 10% since the beginning of this year. And this year, for the first time, all member states are in deficit. Well, all of a sudden you care about deficit. Interesting. All of a sudden it's totally okay to care about trade deficits. Everyone's been pissed at America for caring about trade deficits, but Europe, some estimates indicate that more than half of European industrial production is now exposed to Chinese competition. And it's not just a question of price. China controls essential links in our supply chains. It's so funny. It's like, I mean, the US has been ranting about this for, I think, the past like 8, maybe 10 years. It's about 8 years. And it's been trying to fix this problem. And so it's always so funny to like see Europe flame America, like, you're the trade war, wah, you're crying about the deficit, wah, like, you know, China's totally a cool person, wah, you know, we're friends, wah. And then 8 years later, them being like, wait a second, trade deficits matter, supply chains matter. China might not be our friend. Doesn't have to be our enemy, but they might not be our friend. Retards. Our dependence exceeds 80% for many critical raw materials. No shit. And 90% for certain terrorists. Wait, what? Terrorists? I don't think that translation is correct. We have seen that these dependencies can be used as a means of exerting pressure. We must therefore ensure that fair conditions are respected. Dialogue with China remains necessary, but it must produce results. And when dialogue is not enough, we must be prepared to fully use our tools. Yeah, of course, you don't list any tools off because I'm not sure you have any, my friend. But hey, I still wish you the best. I still wish Europe the best. I want you guys to recover. Need you guys to recover. Need you guys to get in line with what we've been saying here in America for a while now. Catch up. Catch up so you can join us. Fuck. This is A follow-up on the Canadian-U.S. tariff war. This is Ontario Premier Doug Ford canceling some contracts with American companies.
Also, starting today, all U.S.-based companies will be banned from taking part in government procurement. Every year, the province and its agencies spend about $30 billion on procurement, alongside our more than $200 billion plan to build infrastructure. U.S.-based businesses will now lose out on tens of billions of dollars in revenues. They only have President Trump to blame. I'm also urging all 444 municipalities to do the same, and I'm thrilled to see some are already stepping up. For example, Mayor Patrick Brown in the city of Brampton and many other cities. As part of this government-wide procurement ban, we're going one step further. We're ripping up Ontario's contract with Starlink. It's done, it's gone.
All right, okay. I'm not familiar, but does Canada have its own satellite-type communication network and defense network? I might be wrong, but I don't assume they do. As a matter of fact, isn't Canada's monopoly, Canada has a monopoly problem when it comes to their internet providers, airline providers, TV providers? I might be wrong.
We won't award contracts to people who enable and encourage economic attacks on our province.
What did Elon do? I don't think Elon said anything. Elon hasn't done anything to you guys. I think he likes Canada. What are you tripping for?
Province and our country, alongside federal tariffs and the measures my fellow premiers are bringing forward, this Team Canada's opening response.
Well, the response will be interesting. To be honest with you, I don't think... Oh, this is old. Sorry, guys. What I just showed you is old. This is from 2025. I apologize. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sometimes I add stuff, and then it gets checked out later as being false. That was the previous tariff war that was taking place. I apologize. Doesn't happen often, but it happens. This happened yesterday. Judge strikes down Pentagon blacklist of Anthropic as unconstitutional retaliation. So, just real quick, if you don't know what this is, Anthropic, who makes Claude, which is an AI that was used in the military, their CEO is like very against it or wanted some form of control of what targets are hit and which ones aren't, such and such. And so the U.S. was like, okay, well, we're just going to blacklist you. Not give you any contracts. Well, that was ruled unconstitutional under freedom of speech and due process, which kind of based, kind of true. I might not agree with Anthropic or Claude, but the government cannot determine what it is we want our creations to be used for. At least not like this. And AI is heavily protected under freedom of speech. Heavily protected. It's almost synonymous with freedom of speech. I drank so much coffee, by the way, this episode. I'm like fucking zooming. I drink so much coffee. Holy shit. This is kind of a W, and I'm gonna explain why. Let's say you developers out there make your own AI. And you want your AI to be peace-based. You want it to just kind of create, defend life. And it's hard to say what that might eventually turn into, but let's say it reaches the power God mode that the tech CEOs keep saying it's going to eventually get to. Well, then obviously having an AI that doesn't bomb, school children, that could be linked back to you as your creation, is good. I mean, that's just good. I think most of us can say if we created something and we don't want it to be used to kill a innocent person or whatever, or to be, blanketly used to fucking bomb lots of innocent people, whatever. I'm sure a lot of us would like the ability to say no. So that's what this gives us the ability to do. Prevents the government from being able to blacklist us from use. Which, again, might not necessarily agree with Claude or Anthropic. I think they're a little silly, but it's I respect. I've respected our federal government, our Supreme Court, a lot lately. Wait, what the fuck? I don't know if this is real. Again, this administration is so hard to keep track of, just because so many people like to take what's happening and just skew it into oblivion for clicks and views. And it's so frustrating because I like to just break things down as like, oh, this might be good, this might be bad, or it's both. And it makes it so difficult to do it. It does. It really does. The mainstream media makes it so hard to do that. So frustrating. Just tell me the news. That's all the job is. That's all I do for you guys. I just tell you the news. I'll let you decide. These are Ukrainian drones, and these are land-based drones. I thought they were pretty cool. They're kind of scary. They're cool. You know, they're Terminator-esque. But if you're just watching, it's basically like a little kind of golf cart-sized vehicle with tank tracks with I believe it's a Browning. Yeah, M2 Browning heavy machine gun attached to the center. And they're controlled remotely. And they just drive around and they fucking shoot the shit out of anyone that gets in their way. Apparently, one of them was used to kill like 40 Russian soldiers who were hiding out in a ditch. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. They're called Droid TW12.7, built by Ukraine's Dev Droid Tech. Whew. The droid warfare going on right now between Ukraine and Russia. I mean, I don't even know what to call it. It's like watching two modern-day robot building companies just like try and kill each other with robots. It's insane. The warfare over there, the modern warfare over there is unheard of. Never before seen. Keeping track of it in itself is hard. Oh, right. What is this? A former CIA analyst was sentenced to 3 years in prison for leaking classified information online. Oh, yeah, he looks like a fucking crazy person. He also has goggle marks on his eyes. Here and here. What is that? What is going on there? On October 17, 2024, Rahman printed 2 top-secret classified documents related to planned airstrikes on targets in Iran by the Israeli Air Force. The strikes were in retaliation. Okay, well, who cares? Why do we need to know why? Why was he leaking it? Weird. He was also in Cambodia. Okay, let's see.
From that fight to release the Epstein files came directly from President Trump. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with that, but that is the truth. He fought the hardest to stop these files from being released.
I mean, it's not really that hard to believe. Like, what? They're still fighting to stop them from being released as we speak. Meta launches full-page newspaper ads nationwide, pressuring TikTok and YouTube to adopt the same teen safety restrictions agreed to in its $18 billion settlement.
Israel plans development of space weapons capable of striking targets on Earth. What does that sound like to you? Does this
We already saw them live. We have a video out there of watching that shit happen live. It was crazy.
remind you of anything? Anything at all?
What about Jewish space lasers? Tell us about Jewish space
No, why don't you go talk about Jewish space lasers? And really, why don't you fuck off? How about
Why did she get so mad? What happened?
about that?
Thanks, thank you very much.
Do we owe her an apology?
Why would I don't get it. Holy shit. All right. Well, to be honest with you, I don't have too much more. I don't mind just hanging around here scrolling with you guys for maybe 10 or 20 minutes and just talk about the show. what is this? San Diego and the California.
That's according to Jewish. Anti-Semitism has been rising in San Diego and across the country. That's
Again, I don't know, maybe you guys are seeing it. I feel like this is just the online, internet sphere, and it just seems so silly to me that people get so bent out of shape of, again, I hate using this word, this title, hate speech. But again, it's in America. Anytime someone starts complaining about what people are saying, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Who cares? This is America. Get over it, bitch.
According to Jewish organizations and hundreds of speakers at Tuesday's San Diego City Council meeting. Liat Cohen.
Yes. I love it. I love it when my tax dollars go to a bunch of old white people sitting around talking about how they need to silence young Americans. It's my favorite thing. Yay! Thank you, boomers. You're so great. Love that. Jesus.
And Reese directs
a waste of money.
A local anti-Semitism task force. She says defining it is the city's first step to better fight it.
Well, we need language. In order to understand what something is, we need a definition. We need the language.
How is it that you're so upset about something that you can't even define it? How is that possible? If I got stabbed with a knife, I would be like, holy shit. Maybe everyone having knives is bad. It wouldn't even be hard. All right. I have a reason to be upset. I can identify the threat. It's not even a problem. However, apparently there's a threat that's so massive that all of my fucking politicians won't shut the hell up about it, and yet they can't even define what it is. Truly incredible.
Nearly everyone who spoke agreed anti-Semitism needs to be combated.
Really? Everyone who spoke? You talking about all these people with the hats on? You talking about all these fucking white women and their thumbs up? Like old white women? Like what?
They disagreed on how to define it. The city adopted the definition of the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, or IRA. It's been adopted by dozens of countries and cities across the U.S.
Sounds unconstitutional to me.
Including Los Angeles, Chula Vista,
it's
and
all, by the way, it's all old people. Got an old person here, old person here. This probably looks like a Muslim or an Arab. She's got the jihad thing on. I mean, like, old person. Like, what is going on, bro? What is wrong with old people? What is wrong with old people? How is it you're so bored? You're sitting at a city council meeting talking about anti-Semitism. How bored do you have to be? Working definitions of anti-Semitism.
It says anti-Semitism is, quote, a certain perception of Jews, which may be expressed as hatred.
Dude, that is such dangerous defining of anti-Semitism is perception. So basically any law you pass against it, it's like, as long as you even think about Jews in a negative way, that's anti-Semitism, and therefore they need to invade your brain and fucking remove it. Like, what is going on?
A certain perception of Jews, which may be expressed as hatred. It includes 11 examples. 7 of them involve this.
Oh my god, bro. This chick looks like a fucking monster from a movie.
State of Israel.
Oh my lord. Old white woman, by the way. Old white woman.
Critics say the language has been used to silence criticism of Israel and support for Palestinians. One of those critics is Jewish council member Sean Elo Rivera. He says people must be allowed to both love Jewish people and speak freely.
Thank you. We need more Jewish people to fucking say these things. I've seen some people be like, man, Jews. Listen, I'm not crazy, and the whole everyone's in a basket and ethnocentrism and fucking... it's not me. I'm not into it. We need more Jewish people. For me, the best people to make change are the people from the inside. This is what it is. You saw that with women standing up against other women when it came to silly policies. Same with LGBTQ stuff and blah, blah, blah. The best people, the loudest voices end up being the ones on the inside. We need more Jews to just be like, this is America. Freedom of speech is fine. Shut the fuck up. You people are making a situation out of nothing, and you're making the situation 10 times worse. That's what we need every single time.
Against actions by the Israeli government.
A definition that cannot hold both of these things at once is not a tool for fighting anti-Semitism. is a tool for silencing people who care about everyone.
He urged the council to consider other definitions.
And again, his voice is going to be the loudest in the room because, you know, under their own rules, they have to bow down and suck, you know, and fucking kiss the feet.
But he was outvoted 8-1.
Okay. Fuck me, I guess. My bad. What was I thinking? He's probably the only Jew in the room, and he's the only one who voted no.
For more on this debate and to read the full
God
definition,
bless.
visit KPBS.
Oh, man. They got me. They got me. Everyone, hey, at least one of them voted no, and he was the Jew. All right, that's enough. Give me your phone. Oh, man. I get tired of I've seen it so much lately. My, like, algorithms are all, like, very pro-Israel all of a sudden. Anything anti-Israel is, like, shut down pretty hard, and it's like, you know, I'm not an idiot. I don't buy into this shit. It's just annoying to me. Like, I know what's going on. I have no problem figuring out for myself. It's like I can see the propaganda campaign, and it's like, please, for the love of God, go away. Fucking hell. South Korea plans to give its entire population free access to generative AI services, the first major state-led offering treating the technology akin to a public utility. Yeah, that's a pretty big growing argument. And it kind of falls under the classic, you know, socialism versus capitalism type argument in the sense that, all right, you provide this service for free. Most likely it's going to be a low tier quality, and it's going to stuff out competition and make it harder for growth. America is actually going to U.S. I keep saying America. I know people outside the U.S. kind of get triggered about it. U.S. was actually going to make like 1 gigabyte internet service, I think, like available to everybody or something. And they quickly realized that if they did that, then we would never grow any more than 1 gigabyte. So while in theory that sounds great, what might end up happening is that you just end up stuffing out the competition locally, and you will only ever have one AI service, and it would just be that one. And basically that just gives America an even further lead when it comes to US. An investigation found a Florida Deputy of the Year used flock cameras to stalk his ex-girlfriend, held a police-issued gun in his ex-girlfriend's mouth, oh my god, posed for pictures dressed as Hitler, frequently used, okay, we started out strong with 2 things that are very illegal, and then for some reason we, like, escalate into, he also said a no-no word in a private text message, like, okay, congratulations, I no longer care. Like, you're just trying to, I don't know, you're just trying to make this about anti-Semitism is what it sounds like, and congrats, I just don't care. You lost me already. XAI trained Grok on CSAM, a proposed class action filed Wednesday said. The plaintiff abused as a preschooler, what the fuck, in the early 2000s, says the Canadian Center for Child Protection found AI CSAM of her on XAI. Gross, guys. Her complaint alleges images matching NCMEC hash values were in Grok's training data. No kidding. The Loop plaintiff describes XAI's terms treat public X posts and Grok's own outputs as training data by default. Violent content is filtered out. CSAM is not named as an excluded category. Would you believe under freedom of speech, they are pretty much going to allow CSAM as long as it's not based on anyone real, which this is something that's been ruled a lot of times here in the US. It's covered under freedom of speech. Basically, it's like the whole lolly drawing thing that people kind of get, you know, the discussions pop up every once in a while about it, whether or not lolly type content should be available or should be legal. And again, it's just protected under freedom of speech, as in if you draw it in your own home, it's fine. And again, AI and free speech is very heavily connected. And so I wonder how this lawsuit will play out. I mean, they could get in trouble for using her likeness, but if CSAM just got AI generated CSAM is technically legal, then it might not go anywhere, to be honest with you. maybe in other countries, but not here in the U.S. Poland is officially exempted from the EU's mandatory migrant relocation quota under the new Migration and Asylum Pact. Good job, Poland. Nor will it pay fines for refusing to take them in. Good job, Poland. Normally, the pact forces EU member states to either accept a specific quota of migrants from frontline nations or contribute a 20,000 financial equivalent per rejected individual. Poland is exempt. Based Poland. Always based. Okay. I think that's going to be the end here, guys. Didn't really have too much. It's been we kind of covered everything throughout the week. And I'm still kind of waiting on some other stuff to fill out. So yeah, I think that'll be it. But hey, listen, it's been a great week. Got monetized this week. Over the weekend, I will be creating these stickers, or I might have to wait, actually. I think I have to wait until they send me something to my house, and then I'm like officially monetized. But if I can, I'm going to make the stickers, and then when I do live streams, people who are like subbed for a long time get a little sticker or some shit. I don't know, but I'm gonna have fun designing them, so I don't care. That shit's so fun. I like making shit. My little creative brain rarely gets to get used, so when I do get to use it, it's a lot of fun. Again, if you want to have any input, join the Discord. I'll probably leave a poll on YouTube when I make some. Or, yeah, on YouTube. I think on YouTube and Discord. I'll post the poll anywhere I can. But if you want direct access, Discord's the best place. The link is in the description, pretty much on the link tree, which is in the description of all the platforms. Pretty easy to find. We talk a lot in there. I have a lot of PMs with a lot of the viewers. It's a good time. I talk to pretty much anyone who comments or messages. A lot of you, again, are a lot smarter than I. Smarter than me. Smarter than I. Smarter than me. And yeah, guys. It's been a great week. Pretty soon we'll have a lot of very specific content that I cannot talk about, that I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while, including a massive trafficking operation in South America and some other stuff happening in the Middle East. Maybe even some stuff in Europe. So next week, I should have a Canadian on the show. He's a returning guest. He is going to help kind of, talk about some of the stuff happening in Canada, the tariffs and whatnot. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. If you made it this far, God bless you. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you had a great week. And I will see you guys at the start of next week, Monday.